Where do I begin? Honestly, my story is a difficult one to recount. I didn't survive. What you're seeing is merely a representation of my subconscious in the final moments of my life. How you've come to view my testimony is irrelevant. Just consider yourselves some of the lucky few who have the opportunity to learn from my fatal mistakes, and maybe choose a path away from the evil that surrounds you. My story. Initially, it seemed like a normal day. I got up in the morning and went through my daily routine. Checked my phone for any messages or missed calls. There was one, a text message from my friend Michael asking if I wanted to do breakfast at 8 with the usual people. I sent him a message saying, sure, 8 at our usual place seems fine. Get out of bed, brush teeth, take a shower, get into some fresh clothes. Oh, and apply deodorant. I walked to our usual spot and found them. As I began to tell them about a book I just finished reading the night before, I noticed that neither of them had spoken to me or had even replied. They seemed to be preoccupied with something on their phones. They just wouldn't answer me. This is when I made my first mistake. I looked over. On their screens, there were no open applications, no text messages, no pictures, nothing. They were completely blank. I got up to leave. Why bother saying goodbye? I tried not to think about my friends at breakfast, but as I continued through my day, I began to notice similar behavior. Others seemed to be staring at completely blank phones as if it was all normal. I picked up my pace. I didn't want to be late. I arrived at the door and walked in. This is where my story gets even stranger. I turned to find my professor beginning his lecture. I took out my spiral notebook and a pen. No, it couldn't be. But it was. Blank. There was no lesson, no information, no dates, no facts. But no one seemed to notice. I broke out in a cold sweat. I knew I had to leave. I was at a loss for words. What was happening to me? Or was it even me that was the problem? My phone vibrated. It was Michael again, asking me if I wanted to watch a movie with the usual people at the usual spot. I hesitated. I didn't want to be rude, but I needed some answers. Despite the feeling in my stomach, I decided to meet him. Something about today was terribly wrong. I felt empty. I wanted the world to return to the way it had been. But as the day progressed, I knew less and less of how to find a way back. The room was really dark. No one was there. Suddenly, my friends showed up. They sat down on either side of me. Then, the lights went out. And the screen turned on. Again, nothing. The agony that seized me during my class started again. I broke out in a cold sweat. I tried to say something to Michael, but it was no use. The friend I once knew was no longer there. They were all gone. I tried to protest, but they had pinned me down so I couldn't move. There were forces around me that were impossible to resist, and I felt it. From within, I gave up. There was no going back. Don't look, I thought. I don't want to look. But a new feeling overtook me. It was powerful. And I told myself to look away. Look away. Look away. Look away.